wise person once told me that it is not how others treat us, but rather how we treat others that defines us. When I hear people say that they're colorblind, I figure they must be approaching 100 years of age. There was a time when that comment might have resonated in some circles, but that simply isn't enough now. Say that one is not a racist is also not a meaningful position. Tell me you are opposed to racism, that you know racism is wrong. If you want me to have any confidence in your sincerity, then tell me how you are going to live your life so that others can live theirs. Listening to my granddaughters as they describe how they're engaging with their white friends on the issue of anti-Black racism gives me hope. Seeing the diversity in the ages and races of people who are participating in protests against racism gives me hope. The clarity of the thinking, the determination and the fearlessness of actions of young people of all races give me reason to be hopeful. Never before has that been more evident or more powerful. People who had ignored or dismissed the voices of those who have long been saying that Black Lives Matter are now kneeling in support of their message. The work of past movements served to change and repeal abhorrent laws. That was absolutely critical for any progress to be made. Martin Luther King Jr. was branded as a radical by those determined to protect the status quo. What we need now is a change in attitudes, and there is greater insistence that there be accountability for how we act towards each other, both individually and collectively, in the form of institutionalized practices. Unfortunately, it's harder to legislate that kind of change. It might be inconvenient for some to recognize that dominant society and dominant culture continue to determine, based on their own experiences and privileges, how everyone else gets to live. While it is important to acknowledge that reality, it might be even more important to recognize that the institutionalization of public policies and how they are implemented is all within the control of human beings. I think this is important to remember when we talk about systemic racism, or even simply about the system. Perhaps when we think of the system as the problem, we should remember systems might be created by people eager to establish or protect what they deem to be their rights, as opposed to, and sometimes at the expense of what they think is good enough for everyone. The commitment that we all need to make is to respect that we all deserve to be able to live with dignity and in ways that do not involve the oppression of others. It has never been more important to protect, preserve, and promote our humanity.